Breaking news this morning, more than 100 people are dead due to the catastrophic flooding in Texas over the July 4th weekend. Rescue crews intensifying their search for the dozens still missing. 27 campers and counselors at Kirk County's Camp Mystic killed by the raging floodwaters. 10 more campers and one more counselor are still missing this morning. Texas Governor Greg Abbott giving an update on the state's response. That's going to be later today, but he did say they will not stop until every missing person is found. President Trump expected to visit the state this Friday. I want to bring in Texas Congressman Roger Williams. He's chair of the House Small Business Committee. Mr. Chairman, I'm sure you, like many people across the country and those of us that are from Texas as well, our hearts are broken. How are you doing, sir, this morning, and what are you hearing on the ground?
Well, it's heartbreaking, and the fact of the matter is, you know, and Texas is a big state, but in many ways, Texans know Texans, so everybody's been touched by this tragedy. And I think Governor Abbott and his team in the Department of Public Safety have done an unbelievable job in rescue operations and what they're and who they're helping. So it shows that Texas can deliver when they need to. But it's a tragedy like no other. This will be talked about for years to come. We all know people that have been touched by it, and it's hard to imagine. But I do think that I want to thank the governor again for his leadership in this. It's been phenomenal.
Well, you know, this is, of course, a lot of the chatter began almost immediately over the weekend about was the National Weather Service prepared, and then we're finding out, no, that the warnings did go out. But you know, Caroline Leavitt was asked about this at the White House briefing yesterday, and she was asked about, you know, those that are using this as a political football and they're attacking President Trump. Listen to what Caroline Leavitt had to say about this tragedy yesterday.
Unfortunately, in the wake of this once-in-a-generation natural disaster, we have seen many falsehoods pushed by Democrats such as Senator Chuck Schumer and some members of the media. Blaming President Trump for these floods is a depraved lie, and it serves no purpose during this time of national mourning. Here are the facts. In the lead up to this tragic natural disaster, the National Weather Service did its job. Despite unprecedented rainfall, the National Weather Service executed timely and precise forecasts and warnings.
You know, on the Guadalupe, you know, it was 22 feet of water that rose in 2 hours. This is from Bob Bogerty. He's with the in Austin, San Antonio office of the National Weather Service. The gauge recorded a level of 29.5 feet, and then it was submerged, and the gauge failed. Where Camp Mystic was, over 25 feet of water in an hour. That is unprecedented. You know Flood Alley, you know Kerrville, you know Kirk County. How, in your mind, in this scale, large-scale events of catastrophe when it comes to water in the state of Texas, where does this rate for you?
Well, I mean, I don't, you know, we had this situation, I think it was back in 78 and another one in around 86, but nothing like this. And I think the blame game is really unbelievable. We hear from the other side blaming even President Trump for this. So what we need to do is we need to find more people. We need to pray for everybody. And that's where we need to be right now, and not worry about a natural disaster, quite frankly, that no one can control. We're dealing with Mother Nature here. And I'm disappointed in some of the people that I serve with that want to blame somebody and blame President Trump and this and that. There's time for that later. But we've got a lot of people we've got to find, we've got to pray for, and a lot of families out there.
Well, look, Secretary Noem and President Trump have said whatever the state of Texas needs on a federal level, it will get. What does Texas need?
Well, I think right now, I'm serious when I say Texas needs prayers, but also Texas will need resources. They'll need physical resources. I'm sure that Texas is going to, we're putting out a lot of money right now for all this. So it's going to be a combination of things that will be looked at when things slow down. The president will be down here on Friday. We'll be able to talk to him and see. But right now, it's the focus is on these camp counselors, the individuals, the children that are still out there. We got to find the families we got to console.
Yeah. Well, again, you say prayers and then you think that's not enough. What else can I do? And obviously, here at Fox, we are hoping to raise more money to help the people of the Hill Country. I do want to switch gears with you before you go, sir, because small business is certainly something that you've come on the program and talked many times about. There is this new National Federation of Independent Business survey, and small businesses and optimism, it's actually remained steady, which is interesting in the middle of the fight over the big, beautiful bill. One of the most pro-small business pieces of legislation in recent history, if you look at, is in the Megan bill. There's $13.5 billion. It reimburses Texas for border security, that money that was spent by the governor during the Biden administration. Mr. Chairman, I want to get your reaction, and also, have you heard from some in the small business community about how the bill can help them and what they need right now moving forward?
Well, first of all, Texas, we were out a tremendous amount of money, $13.5 billion. I had a bill that says we need $11 billion back. We certainly would like $13.5 billion. This is money we shouldn't have to spend in Texas. It was due to the lack of a response from the federal government. So Texas deserves to have its money back so we can begin to operate Texas ways again, not spend our money for federal issues. And so, but I would tell you, being a chair in the Small Business Committee and being a small business owner myself, the bill is being met with tremendous amount of support from small business. The idea of tax cuts, the idea of less regulations on banks, the idea of a border wall, the idea of 100% expensing, the idea of just being able to take risk again and get reward is turned small business on like I haven't seen in a good while. People feel like they can now do some business and hire people and put people to work and, quite frankly, realize the American dream. And I think that's what this bill is going to do. And it's going to create a lot of cash flow. When you cut taxes, you create cash flow, you create jobs, and that will help offset some of these deficit issues that some of the folks want to talk about. But Main Street's excited about it. It's a great opportunity for us to do great things in our country.
Congressman Roger Williams from the great state of Texas. Congressman, thank you so much for being here.